Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We continue. Our party is making their way to the King's Palace at the heart of the Kingdom Shadowscape. We're still here, obviously. We've been here for quite a while. Now, the only party member not taking part in this little walk will be Garlox. And I have an idea for him. It might happen in this episode, but for now, he's going to be off to the side. If you remember, Rayla needs to buy a potion because she is, let's see, she has about 3 hits of damage. So we need to find a shop, and she's going to spend some gold to buy a potion of healing. So she has 28 gold right now. And let's say, before they obviously head to the palace, they're going to stop by a shop. It's roughly 7:40 a.m. perhaps. 7:40 a.m. Starting to rain a little bit. Some morning rain showers. If we encounter anything that might impact something, depending on how heavy the rain is, let's see how heavy the rain is. Intensity 8. It is very light, just a drizzle. If it was up to 100, it would have been severe hurricane winds. So the team find a shop. No name, just a potion. Just a shop that sells potions and miscellaneous items. They enter the shop, and there is the shopkeep behind the main counter. This shop sells an assortment of items, not just potions, herbs, but goods like weapons and some armor, but nothing really specific, nothing unique. Very basic items, probably like a short sword, not necessarily a long sword. Things that are entry level items. If this was a first episode, so they talk to the shopkeep, and the shopkeep inquires about what they're looking for. Rayla does the talking. Obviously, Wholf is just kind of standing there, looking around. Rayla asks the shopkeep if they sell potions of healing, basic, nothing expensive. The shopkeep walks to the left, grabs something out of the counter below, and puts on the countertop. She says, "I have this. We're a little short on potions at the moment. I have this half full potion of healing, and that's going to be really the best we can find for now with the limited time we have. That's kind of why I'm saying it's half full. That's the not a punishment for Rayla, but because it's something she probably should have figured out back at the tavern. Then just assume that the shop in town might have an assortment of potions. It's more of a time constraint penalty. So uh, she buys it for 5 gold. Nothing really. Let's say 2 gold. The shopkeep will give a discount because it's half full. So 2 gold, but it only heals D4. So they leave the shop. They thank the shopkeep. She says, "Come back anytime." And we're gonna roll for. Rayla's gonna drink the potion. I'm not gonna even bother putting in the inventory at this point. 3, which is perfect. So that is exactly what she needed to heal. So her wounds are healed up, and now we make our way to the palace, as I've been calling it, or the castle, palace, just a large building in the center of the kingdom. So nothing really extraordinary about it, nothing unusual about it. It's just a large castle with multiple stories, 4 or so uh, towers surrounding it, gold-covered rooftops. It is pretty big. And so it is the central beacon of Shadowscape. Because it's raining, let's update our location here. So we were at the shop, we bought a potion, and roughly it is now 7:50 a.m. and the rain is heavier. So let's say it's heavy rain. Actually, because it is the mountaintop, I'm gonna hack that to snow. So flurries earlier. I forgot that we're on a mountaintop. Now it's just snow showers or just kind of casual snow. So it's getting cold. I'm not really tracking seasons in this campaign. They approach the main gate. There is two very large, almost knights in suits of armor, with their halberts are crossed as usual, and they inquire about the party's presence here and what they wish to, who do they wish to see? What is their business? What is thy business? And so Wholf is going to do the talking here. He says they are here to return an item to the king, the Firestone, as he mentions. The guards look to each other. They are very aware of the Firestone and the significance it has to the king, who is Roland, I believe. I was going based on a product name or a brand of audio recording equipment or video recording equipment. King Roland, if I'm not mistaken here. Might have been a couple pages. Actually, I don't think it's even that far back. I'm pretty sure it's only a page back. There you go. Yep, Rosalind. Sorry, Rosalind. I might say Roland from time to time, but it's roughly in that ballpark of a name. So King Rosalind. They both guards, both of the royal guards, remove their halberts from the cross, and one of them signals to open the. Actually, I'm going to say just one of them opens the gate, and they say, "You must be Wholf. Is this your comrade, or is she with you?" And he says, "Yes." The guard says, "My apologies, madam, but only Wholf is permitted to enter." So Rayla is a bit upset, but she looks to Wholf, not looking to cause any trouble. After she helped her mom in the previous episode or two, she is a bit more, let's say, I'm trying to figure out the words for this. She's a bit more patient now. She's not as relentless or unhinged. I'd say she's a far more um, calmer. Anyway, lack of a better term. She looks to Wholf and says, "Just remember to return my cut of the payment." And Wholf says, "Don't worry, I'll be right back with that." And of course, Garlox. So Wholf enters the main floor, the main grounds of the castle. Rayla is going to hang back, so we'll remove her from the collection here. So let's write that down. Wholf enters the castle, the king's castle, and Rayla stays behind. Stays at the gate. Just to track where my characters are located. Now, he is escorted by one of the king's servants. It's an older man wearing a hood. Looks like a mage. He walks up to Wholf and says, "Ah, you must be Wholf. The king has mentioned of your arrival, of your aforementioned arrival. Please show me the Firestone." Wholf is a tad hesitant. This random mage just appeared, and it's probably the king's advisor. Let's just call him the king's advisor. I'll give him a name. He is dressed like a mage, like a large red overcoat, a red cloak. And so the king's servant or advisor, let's call him Scroll, Scrull. I'll underline that. So the King of Fire, as a scroll, walks up. He's very menacing in appearance. So while Wholf is taking out the um, Firestone from his bag, we're gonna roll a charisma check or a wisdom check to really just get a read on this guy. So we have to roll 13 or less. Oh, okay, 13 it is. That's right on the dot. Because it's right on the dot, it's not gonna be a full read. Let's draw. Let's grab a mythic chart here and figure out what the intentions might just be for this character. So we're doing action and then the secondary action. So 51. Imitate. Oh, okay. Imitate 79. Protection. Oh, interesting. Okay, so imitate protection. Now, write that down here. Imitate protection. I think perhaps the scroll is he's very protective of this item. Perhaps it used to be in his hands. Imitate. Maybe he's pretending to act like it's under it should be under his supervision. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. So scroll is actually, let's spell it like the scrolls from Marvel. I believe it's Skrull. Scroll. Probably skull, but scroll. So scroll, he is acting very shifty, and Wholf just kind of picks up on it naturally, though it's not really precise. He's assuming this guy is here uh, for a good reason, but Wholf still he shows Scroll the Firestone, and the scroll says, "Magnificent, the heart of a dragon." And Wholf is surprised. He says, "Excuse me?" Scroll kind of he covers his mouth and says, "Oops, I'm sorry, I was not supposed to reveal that details to you. Just ignore the fact that I just said that. But please, follow me. Let's continue on to see the king. He's very eager to meet you, or he's very eager to see you." So, Scrolls let it slip. He says the following: the heart of a dragon. Remember, I mentioned, I think, in my very earlier episode, that dragons are extinct in this. Well, I hope I'm not mistaken or I'm not changing anything, but in my little world here, whatever it's Exeter, uh, the dragons are extinct. They've been gone for millennia, perhaps, but their hearts have turned to stone, and they take on the powers of the dragon that they are from. So this dragon most likely was a fire-breathing dragon, a conventional dragon, right? So it is the heart. That's why I started simple, Firestone, heart of a dragon. And now Wholf knows this. This was perhaps some. Uh, Again, I might be retconning an old detail. Perhaps the team didn't know it was a heart of dragon, but now I'm kind of changing that to where I hope I'm, again, as of now, uh, not necessarily tracking all threads here, but uh, it's this stone was secretively the heart of a dragon. To the team, it looks like a magical item that just happens to be radiating in heat, and it's very warm on touch, but it's actually the literal heart of a dragon. I'd say it's probably the size of this tray here, very small, perhaps maybe part of a heart of a dragon, or the heart itself shrunk in size, or it was chipped off the heart of a dragon. So we can develop that lore later on, but for now it's part of a heart of a dragon. But the guy let it slip that it is the heart of a dragon. Wholf now knows this, and he's very curious now as to what significance this might have, because he knows and everyone else knows in this world that dragons are extinct, at least to their perspective. So, this scroll walks very. He's very frail. He's old, so he's walking up to the main castle doors. They open up as there's more guards of halberds, and they let him in, and they walk into the main chamber. There's no stairwell, it's just right there in the front. And they open another door inside the foyer of the castle and reveals the throne room. There is a large, open, spacious setting to it, and the king himself is sitting on a throne, of course, with his perhaps wife, the queen, talking with his family, or he's talking with some advisors. He's doing something. He's chit chatting. Now, when the when Wholf enters with the Firestone and the advisor, Scroll tells Wholf to wait here, and he attempts to grab the stone, but Wholf holds on to the stone tightly. He says, "I'd rather hand the stone off the king myself." And I'm picturing Caller Urban over here saying that, this guy saying that. He says, "I'd rather hand the stone to myself." And the advisor, let's see how that goes. I'm going to roll for it. He's trying to convince. Remember, charisma is very low. It's not a chaotic situation, so I'm not going to do a DC and a value of the modifier reactions, but I'm going to roll charisma. 17, that's obviously a fail. And so the advisor grabs the grip strong, like it is a very. This guy looks very frail and old wearing, but he has surprisingly a lot of strength. He squeezes Wholf's hand more, and Wholf is very surprised at the strength. Not over, being overpowered, but kind of like how Thanos was about to grab Captain America in Infinity War, and he's just kind of surprised by the by Captain America's efforts. So he lets the stone go. It's not really worth the trouble. So he says, "Give that to me, peasant." And then he turns around and walks up, and while Wholf kind of slowly walks forward, but stops eventually up to maybe like a little staircase. Scroll walks up to the king and bows or kneels and raises the stone up to the king. The king, I'm trying to figure out what the king looks like. Let's say the king kind of looks like we don't. I've described the basics of Scroll. You probably don't have to focus too much on this, but the king perhaps has a long beard, a braided beard, long hair, grayish, not too old, maybe in his 50s. And he just has a typical king's gown on, something royalty. So he looks at the stone, ignoring the advisor, Scroll. He says in a deep, menacing voice, he says, "The Firestone. It has returned to its rightful owner. Who has brought this back to me?" And the advisor, Scroll, looks up and turns back to Wholf. He says, "This adventurer Wholf returns." And the I have an idea. Let's ask the Oracle here. What is the king's reaction to seeing Wholf return with the Firestone? This might give some backstory of how the king might know Wholf personally, or did contract the team to, which they did. But let's see what the reaction is. 84, stop. Oh, okay. 65, outside. Oh, okay. Stop at. Oh, you know what? Here. The king stands. He takes the stone out of the advisor Scroll's hand. Scroll steps back and he bows and he stands. He then straightens up and looks to Wholf. The king briskly walks up to Wholf, and with the Firestone, he talks to Wholf, saying, "Well done, adventurer. As you promised, you have returned the Firestone to its rightful owner." Now, Wholf, on his mind, is the mention of the Heart of the Dragon. But Wholf is going to play dumb here. He says, "My liege, I appreciate the very kind words, but I do have a question about the stone." So the king looks back at the scroll. Scroll keeps his mouth shut. He looks down. The king says, "And is it the question about your reward?" Wholf says, "No, I do not doubt your uh, I do not doubt that the reward my team and I will receive, but the team party will receive. But I wish to ask about the stone itself. What do you know about it?" The king is genuinely surprised. He thinks any adventurer comes in here would just deliver the product and call it a day. But the king is actually more intrigued instead of offended or worried that he'll inquire about it. Now, the king, knowing that Wholf is a very um, not just confident, but he's very brave to track all the way from when they originally met the king's guard. I'm still trying to figure out where they started this mission, like at its lore, like if they were here and all the way back here, continue on to Dark Hollow. But that I'm not too worried about at the moment. So let's just scratch that. So the king turns around and he holds a stone looking at it. He says, "This stone has quite the story to it, and it may be a bit secretive. I'm afraid I cannot share too much details about this, but let's just say it belongs in my grasp." So Wholf is he's not saying anything. Wholf is just listening. King turns back around, he turns to Scroll and says, "Scroll, retrieve the reward for Wholf's bravery and for his team, for their efforts." Scroll bows and or kneels and then kind of gets up quickly and walks over to his private quarters to the side. The king turns back to Wholf and says to Wholf, "Wholf, for what you have done here is quite extraordinary. This is obviously no ordinary stone. The details of this stone is secretive to me and myself alone. But I do have another request for you. If your team is willing to assist." Now, okay, Wholf is interested here, so possibly another mission. He says, "There are other stones like this one spread across the land. This is my only one I've ever owned. But through rumors, I've heard there are several others of very distinct landmarks across the land of Exile. How would you like to become my personal party of retrieving these stones under the order of the King of Shadowscape? You have complete authority to go wherever you deem necessary to find these stones and return them to me. And your reward, not only with reputation, will be paid, but also in gold." Wholf is extravagant. He's blown away by this proposition. He says, "It would be my honor to do such a task for you, my king. My team and I will not hesitate but accept this task you've bestowed upon us." And eventually, Scroll returns with a large bag of gold, like perhaps this big. It's easily maybe let's say 300 gold pieces. We can't forget one of our fellow teammates has to get an extra 10% of that. And so Wholf, the king extends his hand and shakes hands like this, kind of shakes hands and puts his hand on top of Wholf. He says, "Wholf, thank you for your efforts. Now, I will leave you in good hands with Scroll. He will detail you on where another stone may be." So the king turns back around and goes back to his throne, continues talking with the queen. Now let's write down kind of a quick little recap of what just happened. So we met with the king. We got the reward actually. Let's see, 300 gold pieces total. Obviously, we'll split that three ways for the most part. Scroll. Oh yeah, we hired to find more dragon stones, as we Wholf is now kind of assuming they're called. Find more. I'm gonna call them dragon stones. Some dragon stones. Dragon stones. The king's personal. What should we call? What should they be distinguished on? What should the honor be bestowed upon them? The name of their group. Let's see here. I'm gonna have the placeholder names called. They're gonna be called the King's Trackers, the Trackers, or the. I'm gonna call it the King's Trackers. It's really simple. I'm gonna change that eventually. I'll consider it a better name, but it's a placeholder. I'm just putting this in quotations. So um, they're officially part of the royal, um, the king's royalty, the king's influence, and so now they meet with Scroll, and he brings it Wholf into. He walks Wholf back out of the castle. They leave the castle. Let's say it's 8:15 a.m. It's still very early in the morning, and we're outside. It's still snowing. We're outside the castle gate, or the castle doors, not the main entryway outside the grounds, but the main castle door, outside the main doors. And Rayla can see she's pacing back and forth, eagerly waiting, and then she sees Wholf leave the castle doors behind the gate. The guards look back briefly and then go back into position. Um, Scroll kind of takes Wholf to the side. He whispers into Wholf's, kind of leans over. He says, "I'm very appreciative of you not mentioning the information I detailed to you. Let's best keep it under wraps for now. But," he says, "you've been hired by the king to find these other stones that are across these lands of Exeter. I have information on potentially another stone that is not too far off, not too far from our kingdom." Wholf is listening intently. And so the next stone could be, as he says, we've heard through the rumors from your fellow adventurers and travelers that the other stone is in the desert region over here. So I'm going to put the big circle northwest from the castle in a, let's say it is a tower. Let's get some details on this tower or this location. Maybe I can use, let's use this oracle here. Where is it? There you are. So this oracle we've used before. Uh, this will give us a more specific location that we can reference. I might just choose some points of interest. Let's see, any of these will work for a desert. D20. All right. 19. A farm. That's too simple. 17. An abandoned castle. Well, let's say it is a ancient tower. I like that one. Either tower or mine. I do like tower is what I mentioned earlier, so we'll stick with that. So it is an ancient tower. And the next stone is ancient tower. Little pencil sharpening action. There we go. Ancient tower, northwest of Shadowscape. He points to the direction, which doesn't exactly help. It just kind of points. And we'll put the tower right, let's see. Let's put it here. The Eye of Mordor, right there. So I will square this off as its areas of interest. This is R6. The Tower of Purge. That's what we'll call it. This sounds phenomenal. I cannot wait to get there. Hopefully the road goes there, or they'll have to take a path off the road. But it's probably going to be in the Deadlands or further. I think this whole area here is more desert, like, which is kind of in between the Shadowscape and the mountains. I haven't really named the regions in this map just yet, but for now they need to go northwest from here. So Wholf takes the mission, and it is going to be. I'm going to mention right here, star R. Let's see, R6. There we go. R6. The Tower of Purge. Okay. And there we go. So Wholf, he nods in understanding, and he asks the Wholf has never been there. That's obvious, but he does ask the scroll any information on the tower, and let's see what happens. Let's see what he says. Let's use the other mythic sheet. This one. I like this one because it has better descriptors for nouns. 71. Nature. Okay, so perhaps there is a lot of foliage around it. 76. Nature and powerful. Oh, okay, so here's what we got. We got living and breathing trees. Perhaps, let's see. Nature. 6. Powerful nature. Okay. Nature. Powerful. I will interpret this between episodes for now, but Wholf thanks him and he makes his way. He leaves. Oh, the gold, right? So we have he has 100 gold pieces now. There's a little one there. And Rayla, as she's excited, she sees Wholf. He leaves the gate. They close the gate behind him. He fills in what happens. We don't have to converse on exactly what happens. And then Rayla gets 100 gold, which is 100 experience points. We can't forget that. And another 100 for returning the stone to the king. And then he technically has 100 gold pieces on the side for, or I should say, 110 for Garlox. So that removes 10 from his stock, and it's 110 gold pieces in a sack for Garlox himself. Okay. Now he details what happened. Whoops, my mistake. Rayla will hold on to it. I was supposed to write that on Wholf's person, but that's fine. Rayla will hold on to that. He gives the gold to Rayla. She puts aside 10. They're story-wise, they're both caught up what happened. They go back to the tavern, and it is roughly, let's say, 9 a.m. Not the tavern, the inn. I guess it is a tavern. I forgot the name of it at the moment, but I'll just put down tavern. Tavern/inn. And it is still heavy snow at the moment. No, I don't think they'll encounter anything. Let's see if they encounter anything. I will do 25% chance of the daytime. Of course they encounter something. Okay, we haven't encountered. So, all right, that's totally fine. All right, let's draw a card. It's going to be perhaps they took a shortcut and ended up in a area that has a monster, which is going to be what happens. So it's going to be this little guy here, a slagworm. Let's get the I've actually ran out of markers, so I can't use my little whiteboard I used in my last video demonstrating my BECMI 20 system, which we will use here. But this little slagworm, is there more than one 50-50 chance? There is. So let's say there's 3. We have 3 slagworm. Their AC, I'm going to say it's these guys are small. They have no armor, so let's say it's 9. They're very weak. But they have HP of 4. I'm going based on the card here. That's probably fair enough. Damage of a D4. These guys are going to be pretty simple if it goes right. So we have the first one here, we have the second one here, and then the third one here. All right, let's begin. Again, this is my quick resolution system using the BECMI 20 method, which is the target 20 method, and using the attack bonus of each character. Okay, they get into a little fight, perhaps in a little alleyway. I got distracted by the snow. And Wholf will use... Oh, yeah, that's right. He doesn't have the Firestone anymore. We're going to remove that. Oh, look at that. He has the magic bomb. This is perfect. There's multiple enemies, so he can use it. And it's probably it probably, let's say, gets... How many of them? Let's say 1 through 3 is one of them. 4 through 6 is 2 of them. Gets 4 of them. Okay, so, I'm sorry, 2 of them. He throws it. It's a 1d6 plus 1. So that's 5 damage. We'll distribute the damage amongst the two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That bomb goes off, which means he no longer has that item. And so now it's that was his action. I'm going to now, well, he used an item. Let's now attack. So he has a D8 sword, regular sword. I tried to roll my weapon die with the attack roll, and the damage die of the slag burns is a D4. Okay. Now our goal is 20. So 12 was our roll plus our attack bonus of 1, that's 13, plus our attack melee bonus of 16, plus their armor of 9, which is easily a hit. And we dealt 4 damage. So we take out one of them. So I'll cross out this guy here. All right. They, let's see, 8 AC, that's not a hit. So good. All right. Now it's Rayla's turn. Let's see, what does she have? She has Neon Mask, which she'll save for later. These creatures are not worth the efforts of such a powerful item. With Neon Mask, Moon Mask, sorry, for 3 turns she's invisible. That's how I interpreted off the item we drew from earlier of the Dungeon Degenerates cards. Just see what item she has. She has a short bow, so that's what she'll do. It's a D6, so I'm gonna remove the D8 and replace it with a D6, and now we'll roll both sides. Okay, we obviously hit. That's 4 damage. So I'm gonna take out another creature. Boop, like so. I don't carry damage over to other enemies. You probably could, but I am going to keep this fair and balanced for this fight. But they also got a hit on Rayla, and unfortunately it's 4 hits. See, 19, that's 4. So she takes, once again, she takes a lot of damage. 2, 3, 4. Okay, she has 6 hit points total. So now it's back to Wholf, and she's very delicate. All right. I'm going to replace the D6 with the D8. Okay, we're going to roll for now. Wholf runs in there. Okay, so 13 plus 1 is 14. 15, 16, 17, plus the AC of 9, that's obviously a hit, 8 damage. That's going to be a death right there, total. But I also consider the hit if it did. It did not. So 16, 17, 18, that's not a hit. So Wholf is safe. Okay, they defeated these 3. These little guys are probably worth 10 each. So I'll give them both 30 XP. That might be a little too much, but I'm going to give it to them. Especially the fact Rayla survived. Alright, so that card will go back in my collection here. That was a Badlands monster if you guys play the game, which I actually don't play it. At least not too often. Still trying to learn it. Alright, let's put these away here. Now, the team recover, and once again, Rayla is going to have to rest. They'll head back to the tavern. And as they do, so I'd make a little correction here. That was more of an alleyway where that fight happened. Now we're at the tavern. So it's 10 a.m. Tavern. Inn. Still snowing. But Garlox is not present. Garlox is MIA. He's not in his room. He's not in the tavern hall, the main tavern dining area. He is gone. We don't know just yet. I'm going to save that for next episode. So, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a good mix. We had one encounter, we had some conversations, and some plot building, etc. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.